Are we ready, everybody?
We're ready.
Doug probably has that too. You probably have that part too.
Can I ask a question? If you like me so much, why you send me to both of these? You can't even make this stuff up. You know, it's like so long ago, but it's vivid.
She must have it all right there.
Yeah, but that's her writing, that's the secretary writing that. That's Sherry writing that on the bottom.
It must make any sense to me. It's right there, I thought.
Well, that's what I didn't understand either.
I'm standing.
Okay. You want to do the pledge then, you're standing?
Sure.
No, it's to, I think it's to adjourn though.
Everyone ready? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to welcome Bruce Woodruff. I'm right. He's here to talk about the CIP, which he says is real important, and about our future plans. And
Thank you.
I'll give this to... let's see what happens. Bruce, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Do you know the board?
One of the reasons why I'm here is to tell you about me a little bit first, I think.
Do you know us on the board at all of us?
I don't.
Okay, I'll start with the good-looking guy down on the right, my right.
This one.
Nate, it's you.
The good,
The good one? Oh, I thought you were talking about Earl.
Not that good.
Okay, now, who are you? Who are you?
Nathan Castle,
That's right.
Peg Heard.
Laura knows Rudy.
Tammy Crandall.
You know me, Doug Shue.
Paul Steer. Hi.
Nice to see you. Thanks a lot for having come. We should say
Get this, though, right?
that we went down to a town meeting. It was Doug Shute, the chair of the board, myself and Mr. Adams, Bob Adams, and it went really well. And we went down and we heard from the departments in town. And at that point, Chair Doug Shute thought it would be a great idea for Bruce to come to the board so we can embed all of our ideas into one, and that we can ensure that we're working in terms of the town so that the impact upon taxation in any one year for the taxpayer will be held down. So we want to thank you for being here.
We are missing one other member, is Melissa Brown.
She's ill.
Oh, I didn't get that message.
She texted me, and she's very sorry. She went home from work ill, and she will not make it tonight. But both of us will appraise her of all the specifics. I'm sure I'll get a text about 6 a.m. to hear all about it.
Hey, Bruce. You have the floor.
All right, just so that you all know who I am and where I came from, I know you've got a lot of things to do today, but I'm going to try and hold it to about 11 minutes. If I get that, we'll just shoo me out of the room. Again, my name is Bruce Woodruff. I do serve as the town planner for the town of Milton, and one of my major tasks with the planning board is to move forward with a capital improvements program annually. And I've handed out something called a CIP, Capital Improvements Program Primer, for you, and really you can take your time and read it. I'm going to try and just hit the high points so you have a good understanding of what the CIP is and what it isn't. But let me tell you about me first. I kind of got ahead of myself there. I'm like a motorboat. You pull the pull cord and I get going. In 1987, I took my first job in the town of Hudson, New Hampshire, as the assistant town engineer. I served there for a few years. I then became the zoning administrator there, and then left and went to the city of Dover, where I served as a city planner for almost 22 years. After that, I went to the town of Moultborough and was the town planner there for a little over 5 years. I had a stroke and an aneurysm, and so that kind of put the end of my driving back and forth to Milton, especially at night with night meetings. And so after working at home for Milton for a while, I decided to ask the town of Milton if they needed help with planning, and that's how I became a consultant town planner for the town. One of the first things that the Board of Selectmen and the Budget Committee wanted me to do was to come up with a process and a procedure for how we would prepare a capital improvements program every year and do it the same way. So let's take a look at just a couple of things here. First of all, here's a good question. Why do we need a capital improvements program? Well, first of all, you need to know that they're not required by law, but there's many reasons why a municipality should prepare one, and there's one really good reason why a school district should also participate and hope that the town does prepare one. And that is that if you have school impact fees, you can't collect them unless there is a capital improvements program. So that's pretty important. In a nutshell, when you read these bullets, we get right down to the bottom line, and you really need one because a capital improvements program is exactly a plan, and it's a recommendation that goes to Budget Committee, Board of Selectmen, and if you participate, because you're all decision makers, you make decisions on funding. Funding for capital expenses, whether that's buying equipment or whether that's funding a project that is greater than $25,000 and has a shelf life of greater than 5 years. So if you have an internal capital plan for these types of improvements, I guess the town is asking that you share that information with us so that we can get it into our 6-year plan. Talking about the program, it is 6 years long. The first year is the capital spending year. That's the most important year each year for the planning board to look at potential purchases and potential projects. And what they do is they rate them and they rank them, and they look at whether they have a tie-in to the master plan. And then what they do is they will look at the amount of money that the town should or could or may spend, and then add up the totals based on the ranking of those projects. And if it's $700,000, when you get to $700,000, you may not recommend that 13th or 14th project. That doesn't hold true for any projects that the school district puts in. The reason why the school district would put any projects in from your capital plan is, and it's right here, it says right here, first of all, a plan prepared cooperatively among officials and employees increases the buy-in among them so that they're willing to help the voters understand why the items in the plan are important. And that's really important.
This is a demonstration of wire.
Where does it fit into local government? I'm probably moving a little too fast for you, but I think the important takeaway here is that a CIP has no effect on applications before the planning board or zoning board, and that to some extent it's used to guide development of growth management ordinances or impact fee ordinances, and I mentioned that earlier.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Let's move along here. You see in this one here, it talks about what we just said, is that the CIP is adopted, it is an impact fee ordinance that one of the things that you do have that's out of date, and we talked about this in our other meeting, is you do have the ability to get school impact fees when developments do come to the planning board, but the data, and not the analysis, but the data is out of date. That was done back in 2007. And so we're way out of date on that, and that should be done again. All right, here's the most important thing, I think, and I'll read this to you. It says, although school districts are for the most part separate political entities, that's you, which adopt their own budgets, a town CIP can also look at school-related projects. This information is useful in a variety of ways. It provides perspective on the overall financing burden of capital improvements that taxpayers will be bearing, because of course the same taxpayers are paying both municipal and school taxes. Now what are we talking about here? Is that nothing in a capital improvements program has to do with actual funding. It's only a recommendation report annually. And it doesn't, when you put a project into the capital improvements program, it doesn't mandate that you do it or that you spend the money. You can take it out if you want, you can move it to different years. It's only a plan and a recommendation. So you would still have to prepare a warrant for your own capital project or equipment purchase. That's the bottom line here, is that this is all for planning purposes. And I think that there's a lot of jargon here, but what they're saying is that it may make sense to stagger school and municipal projects, and that's the reason for the process that we have. That we get together, as the department heads do on the town side, and they will look, and I will show you that. Matter of fact, you have the handout right there of the spreadsheet that shows the planned capital improvements program for 2019 through 2024. That's the 6-year period. And down at the bottom, if you turn it over, you will see that there are totals. And the totals are minus grants and they're minus other offsets. One of the things that happens is that if you put a project in there and your project is $10,000 a year for 5 years, that makes it 50. Each year, that $10,000 is subtracted from the bottom there because it says other offsets. Because it's not town money. It's not town warrant money. And I guess I hope I'm not confusing you on this one, is that the reason why we put this in here is it's good planning to coordinate. Coordination is key to planning, and coordination is key to making sure that there aren't spikes in the number of warrants that come to the voters. Some from the school district, some from the town in 1 year. You can go on to read that. It talks about, it makes sense to time certain school and municipal projects in a certain order to create efficiency. It also creates no spiking in the tax rate, and hence the voters usually will vote for your warrant articles for your capital programs and capital equipment purchases.
This is a demonstration
I don't
of
think we need to
Wirecast.
talk too much about this here. I'm going to let you read all of these things. I'm going to try and go down to where how does the process work? So first of all, it's critical to recognize that the planning board does not operate in a vacuum. The law grants quite a bit of authority to the planning board, and it's true that under New Hampshire RSA 674-6, the capital improvement program is based on information submitted by town departments and other agencies like the Conservation Commission in the town. All town or city departments, agencies, officials, and any affected school board are required to provide to the planning board, upon its request, a statement of all capital projects proposed to be undertaken during each CIP period. So that's annually here, and that's per 674:7, Roman 2.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
That's an important thought. So the question that I pose to the school board is this. If you don't have a capital plan right now, that may be a first step. And your answer to me, to give to the planning board, may be, we don't know what capital projects we have right now. So I'm not sure if you have one. But I think that's the starting point, for the district. That would be my recommendation. After that, then you would give me the list of your capital projects. We would ask that you come to the planning board and present those projects. We have forms. You know, I did send the forms a couple of times. I think Nathan's got them all.
Yep.
If there's projects that are beyond the capital spending year, in the planning years 2 through 6, those forms don't have to be meticulously filled out. They can be a little bit more back of the napkin. The estimate of cost can be truly that, an estimate, and as the years get closer to the capital spending year, you would firm all that up.
Okay.
And so it's not as daunting a task as I think it looks when you get an email that has 18 attachments and 4 different forms and instructions, and so I'm thinking that I can help at any point with that. I think that one thing that we do need to look at before we go out of here is, and all I'm going to say here is that some of this primer has to do with the planning board in doing their process, but there are nuggets of information that the school board should take a look at. So I would suggest that you go over this, even if you just skim it a little. And really that's, come on.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
I do want to show you let's see if we can get this up here. This spreadsheet is the heart of the capital improvements program, and you do have a copy of it right there. I think the major thing that I want you to take a look at are these light blue lines that talk about subtotals from, the building, facilities part of Department of Public Works, Department of Public Works itself, the fire department, the library, the town hall, the police department, and you'll see there's nothing much in water and sewer yet, and there's one project in recreation. When we get down to where it says school,
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
We only have one project.
Yeah, Milton Elementary shingle. Yeah.
right, and I guess what I'm getting at here with regard to the school is,
I think we're on phase 3, Bob?
Phase 3.
Yes.
Phase 3.
yeah, you can barely read that where it says Milton Elementary School roof maintenance. It really shouldn't have been in the program.
Shouldn't have.
No, I don't think so. You didn't replace roofs, you maintained them, but if it was a replacement, it was a capital project because in total it cost somewhere around $90-something thousand to do it over the course of 3 years. What you don't see there is the third year back. That was the last time that the school district reported to the planning board. So as you can see, that happened, the last payment that was made happened in 2018. So there were payments made in 2016, 2017, 2018.
Wirecast.
This program, and I have to stress this, is not about funding. And it doesn't mandate that you do it. It's just information, and it really got added to the plan so people would see that the bottom line in those 2 years, 2017 and 2018, the bottom line was $798,000 and $986,000 in those 2 years, and
This is a demonstration.
those amounts were subtracted at the bottom under other revenue offsets. So the $33,777 was subtracted out so that people knew that we're not double counting the spending. I wish I could make this bigger, but I can't.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Well, that's a little better, huh? So back to my original point, which is this. The department heads work very hard to try and keep a level amount of spending and almost juggle their projects so that, as you can see here, DPW, for instance, really stays from 2019 on, really stays somewhere between $525,000 and $515,000. And a lot of these projects are incremental funding put into a capital reserve fund every year until you save up the amount of money you need. And that number of years is based on, in this case, with regard to equipment, it's based on a fleet management spreadsheet that talks about the life of each vehicle. It might be 30 years for a fire truck, it might be 20 years for a backhoe. And so you really should start saving up 20 years prior before you save it, before you buy it. That way there are no big spikes in the tax rate. That's really what this is all about. And that's what this is about. You see all of these 3,800s across the board and 4,000s and $2,250. That's the incremental funding based on the life of each piece of equipment. It's a little harder with projects, might be easier with buildings, but if you know and you plan ahead of time, you can start saving like this. That's what this is all about. Questions?
No, Bruce, you made the comment at the meeting Earl and I had with you and Bob. You said there was 3 articles that we could have put on that CIP program that could go on there,
In terms of the warrants,
the warrants. One of them would have been buses. Would that have qualified?
Yes.
And what about high-tech equipment, computers? Okay. Now, what
Especially
about?
if you have a program to replace high-tech equipment,
Yeah, we
you
do.
do it, and you do it every year.
Yep.
You know, let me see if I can show you
The
this really
accounting one
quickly.
too, probably.
The town has something
Accounting
called,
software.
This is a
That would be
demonstration
once.
of Wirecast.
I think we could ask him.
the town has something called town hall technology upgrades right here.
Yeah.
And every year they put $6,000 away. So in the aggregate, it's much greater than $25,000.
Laura, ask a question, go ahead.
The accounting software that Nathan needs to be replaced, would that have qualified?
It all depends on how much it costs.
Was it 30?
1,000, 32,
Yeah, it was like 31,000. So that was training though.
607, 28.
This is a demonstration of
About half of that was training.
So the way I look at it is that it's up to you. You can look at it as a program or a project. It's the accounting project, and part of the accounting project is to do training on software that we're purchasing. The total bill for this is greater than $25,000.
Right.
The life of the software is going to be greater than 5 years before you replace it. And then there's some other things. There's the requirements under GASB 34. And I can't quote you what all those things are, but that's one of the things. But it's life and it's total amount of the project. So if you were just going to count the software, I'd say no. I'm going to count the whole thing as an accounting update project, and I'd say yes. So it is up to you.
Go ahead, Paul.
So you said that like the buses would have been one, but
Oh, yeah.
that's a recurring
Yeah.
item we put every year. We put money in the bus fund. It says it cannot be, is a non-recurring item
Wirecast.
for a CIP. That's what you recommend on here. It says it's a non-recurring. Isn't that recurring? Every year we ask for money for the bus fund?
Yeah, that's I go on experience here is that you could look at any of this equipment as recurring. It depends on how long of a period you're talking about. And if you have a program that replaces buses that are this old with a new bus this year, and then a bus that's this old with a new bus the next year, that's a program.
This is
That's a bus
demonstration
replacement
of
program. It's a
Wirecast.
lot like when you look at the police, I don't know if we can see the.
Yeah, about
you
the
can see
cruisers.
police cruisers, is that the police have decided to do leasing for 3 cruisers, and they pay for the lease, using and putting it into the capital improvements program because it fits there. Now, that $31,000 a year doesn't come from a warrant from taxes, from general fund. That comes from a police detail, so that's also subtracted out at the bottom as well. So,
Administration of Wirecast.
I would say that if you have a bus replacement program, it would be a capital item.
Which we do.
No, what about putting money in our special ed trust fund? Would that qualify? 50,000, whatever year? We build it up. When we have a special needs child that needs to be covered, take the money out of that in anticipation that it's going to occur.
And you ask the voters to fund that every year in a warrant.
We do.
That's not a capital improvement.
I know it is, that's why I'm asking that question.
Yeah, I mean, this one's dicey for me. I really don't think it is.
We wouldn't put that one in there, okay? I just want to be clear.
So you have to think capital project or capital equipment.
Okay, all right.
Yep,
That one doesn't qualify.
good,
It
thank
has to be
you.
material related.
And not maintenance and repair.
Right.
New things, right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good,
thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Great job. Thank you very much.
Moving on.
Let's recess for just 1 second.
We'll just go over the minutes, right? He doesn't need to be here.
No, he doesn't need to be here. Moving on, we'll go to the minutes of 5/23/18. And my desk here.
Do I not see non-public minutes in here?
I don't think there's non-public.
There's no public?
No. I will make a motion to approve minutes from 5/23/18 with the corrections that
Administration of Wirecast.
have been handed to Tim.
I will second, young lady.
Thank you, young man, young sir.
Okay, do we have any discussion? Paul?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Everyone
You were
here?
here.
Aye.
Okay. Then one's excused. So it'll be what, 3?
One's absent.
Administration of Wirecast.
I guess we can't go on. We went for Earl.
We'll skip superintendent, come back.
There should have been non-publics, yes?
That would have been Sherry,
I know, but there were some that were sealed,
and some that weren't.
and there's some that weren't. There should have been some.
Yeah, we don't have it.
And the only other question, I don't know if Tammy wants to ask, but is Tammy correcting these, or are we gonna send them to Sherry?
Send them to
Sherry
Sherry.
too.
Sherry.
So you want me to scan?
Yeah, send it to Sherry.
Did anyone else have any other things besides what
I
she
do.
had?
I do.
Administration of Wirecast.
So I'll send them if there's no that in there,
That way,
that I'll send the changes to her, okay?
poor Tammy don't know.
We can go through the financials.
Yeah,
I
go
understand.
ahead. Monthly expense report? All set?
Thank you, Doug.
We're just going through the financials and stuff.
Yeah, we
And
do.
you can just, you cut in right after.
We'll let you come back after.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Monthly revenue report?
Well, I had my questions,
Wirecast.
just for the budget committee. The grand total, how solid is that? And they kind of said, we got 1 more month to go, but, oh, whoops.
So to answer it, so you don't have to read it,
Okay, thank you, dear.
we're looking pretty good. As of today, we're at 204,000. So as last time I reported, when Sue pays off the bill, because it is June, she closes encumbrances. So it's gonna go up and down a little bit the next manifest or two, but it's holding pretty good at around 200,000.
Okay.
All set? Monthly revenue report?
Good.
Okay, monthly grant report?
So,
Treasurer's report? I'll need a motion in a second.
make a motion on the treasurer's report.
I second.
Laura. Do we have any questions? Okay, Paul?
Fair aye?
Of Wirecast.
Aye.
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 Okay, 4-0. All right, cash reconciliation? Any questions?
Nope.
Food service operating budget? So we're, what, 32,408 in the red? Is that right?
Or is it
No,
sixty-three
it's actually
thousand?
63,000.
63?
Yeah,
Budgeted, we should have been 32.
yeah.
Now, the thing is, we did raise the rates last year, didn't we?
For next year.
No, we
We raised them, I believe it was 10 cents
Yeah, but see,
last year, yeah.
so what was our figure last year at the end of the year, do you remember?
Not off the top of my head.
See, but does really raising the
Actually, it was
rate,
about 50, I think the total was about 54,000.
so actually raising the rate's not helping us then?
Well, our sales are down, yeah. I mean, that's the biggest reason we're in a deficit right now.
Because we were budgeted 100 and, well, revenue, we were budgeted 193 and we're only at 145.
Yeah.
Can we get, sorry, Mr.
We're
Chair.
under in labor costs though.
Can we get an end of the year summary of what is owed? Does that make sense?
No, as far as what?
Unpaid balances.
Negative balances for students?
I
Not
know.
by student, but just an overall amount.
Right.
Yes,
If
absolutely.
we can get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
So I know last meeting Paul had mentioned in reference to not getting notified of
I did, I
balances.
changed my email account,
Oh.
and now I'm getting notified. But for instance,
But I'm not getting notified.
I got a notification that
Okay.
one of my sons is $77 in the hole. How does it get that far?
Sure.
Yet again, I ask.
So is that what the issue is, the email address is
The
wrong?
emails go out every Friday.
I know, but I'm not getting notified.
I know,
either,
the
so-
problem with that system is if we don't have your correct or any email in the system, you're not gonna get one. So we have to revisit,
I was
maybe
getting them
mailing
last
them
year.
again, which is costly, which is why we went to the emails in the first place.
And I was getting them last year. I don't know why I'm not getting them this year.
Are you MetroCast?
No.
Because I changed to Yahoo, now I get it.
Yeah, could you,
I also don't get my
let me
Verizon.
know your email address and I can look into it?
Well, it should be on our page.
What?
I mean,
Well, that isn't necessarily the email address we're
Well,
using
that's
for
the,
school.
that's the
though.
SAU one.
she doesn't have SAU. Yeah, that's
Oh,
your
is it the
personal-
same one?
Is that your personal one?
Yeah, I have that one, but I also changed it because it's kept messing it up.
Or should you
The
have a
other
new one?
email address.
So-
I have two.
Yeah, if you can give me the one that you want it
Okay.
sent to, I'll look into it for you.
Did you correct your list so we can get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me.
Is that one? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we could get an ending balance, that would be great, like
Okay.
negative amounts. I'd like to just see how much we go, finish up the year with, how much we lose,
Yeah.
as far as unpaid balances.
I know I got a call that said, saying Haley owes this much money when she comes in this week. Can you bring her? It wasn't like $2 and something, but
You got a call?
yes, Janet called me in reference to something else, but she just mentioned that.
$2?
She's on it.
You didn't get a call
By the
for
way, you,
77?
nope.
So maybe
Not for-
your seniors
it was
did that.
7610 or something like that.
Do you have the app? Because I have the app too, that I can go on and get it.
No,
My
I don't
school
have the app.
books.
No, I don't have that.
So
That's how I get it.
basically, in a perfect day, you're gonna get an email every Friday once the balance goes below $10, and then you're gonna keep getting that until it's replenished, or and then you'll get a separate similar email once it drops below 0.
Okay.
So because you weren't getting those emails ahead of time, because your email wasn't working, that's why you never got those notices.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll have to talk to, Mom and find out, because she pays for him, and I pay for my other son. So I don't know if I started getting her emails as well, but,
Actually, I think I set it up for both of them.
okay.
So if I don't,
Okay.
I need to fix that.
Perfect.
That's not supposed to
No,
happen.
that's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. All right, thank you, then.
Now, are we going after individuals that are way behind?
We're slowly attempting to, but we are in the process of revamping our policy. The next policy meeting, we're going to be discussing it. And once we get that really straightened out, we're going to go.
You may not be
forward.
able to do that for the next 3 months. We gotta make that decision tonight. We don't meet the 2nd for June, and for July and
Okay.
August, the board is gonna make.
I'm just,
Whenever it happens.
and there's other things that need to be vamped on that too. Like, for instance, my girlfriend's son brings a lunch every day. He's $20-something in the hole. He's like, and then goes to get hot lunch. There's got to be ways. I mean, we can't deny, but if we know, if a parent sends in, I am sending school lunch with my child every day, they should be like a flag saying he brings lunch every day. He shouldn't be allowed to charge lunch.
Right now, they do what we Cafe Services does what we tell them. So we've always had the mentality, we don't want any kids going without lunch.
I get it.
So right now, if he gets a letter from the parents saying, do not give him lunch, they won't give him lunch.
Okay.
Don't send it to school though, because he won't turn it in.
Okay.
Hand deliver it.
All right. It's good to know, though. Okay. Thank you.
But it seems like by law, technically, if he says he doesn't have his lunch, they've got to give it to him. That's the law.
Right. Technically, if he says he doesn't
Unless he
have
has the note, yeah.
it, then he's feel the wrath when he gets home.
What if he left his lunch at home and mom and dad don't know that? They sent the notice in that.
When they get another month's notice saying he's another 30 in the hole, so
You deal with your kid, huh?
go to your room.
Are we all set on that issue?
Yeah.
Moving on to activity statement report. Anybody?
Thanks for your help with that, Nate.
Yeah, no problem.
Nope.
Okay, here we go. These are our balances as of 6/6/2018 and our trust fund balances.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, I've got Earl.
Well, that was the last page. That was part of the
Hey,
financial.
Earl, you're up, sorry. I apologize.
See that? I left for a minute and I've forgotten already.
No, you're not.
How soon they forget, Nate?
I actually had a couple more things.
Oh, did you? Oh.
We got the financial audit
Yes.
for Milton.
Yeah, I saw
Yes.
that.
But it's going to take a little while for the SAU to get a finalized one. But the Milton one came out. Any questions on it?
I haven't really read it.
It's clean.
I did.
I got mine. So,
I did. It looks good.
you think I'll look at the SAU one before I leave the board?
I'm hoping.
You're not leaving, so.
No, I got 2 more years.
I know.
That's just my joke.
3.
Huh?
3.
No,
Let's
no,
hope.
telling ya.
Let's hope.
Oh,
Yeah, that's my joke.
it hasn't started yet.
Very good. Okay, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, Nate. You have something else?
You have the holiday schedule, right?
Yes, we
Everyone
do.
saw that. It's informational.
Yeah.
And
I have a
then-
question on that though.
Go ahead.
So it says in lieu of President's Day, does that mean they work President's Day?
Demonstration of Wirecast.
December 26th is in lieu of President's Day?
Yeah, we have school on President's Day.
Always have.
Well, what's
Okay, I have that day off, so. Okay,
Parents' Day.
Parents' Day.
I love it.
Okay, that's my only question.
They just they misspelled it. It should be called Parents' Day.
Oh, before we go on to Earl,
Contract.
do you have anything else, Nate?
I do.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I do.
Is this in the contract for teachers?
Oh, this is
Is
for
that
the
just-
260 day.
Demonstration of
employees.
Wirecast.
Okay, thank you.
Just an FYI, we finally got that credit for disability.
Oh,
You'll be seeing that
yes.
next one.
Yes.
And the town and I have, the town administrator and I have been discussing our website, and we're looking to different avenues. And one avenue is a company that charges it's a little expensive. It's about $9,000.
Of Wirecast.
And they can break it down. We'll get a discount if we go with the town. And they break it down so it'd be under $3,000 for each year. And I want to know if the board wants me to pursue that, to look into it, not actually do it yet, but look into it, or if you want us to go the regular route and have it go out to bid.
What
Now,
are we
this is the
paying
cheap-
now? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We're paying $3,600 a year for maintenance,
This is a demonstration
and
of
I think it's
Wirecast.
pretty obvious that it's not a very good quality.
On our website, you're talking.
Our website, yes.
Website.
This one is really good, and the yearly maintenance is only $2,400, and in my opinion, they solve all the issues that we're having as far as being able to maneuver, find things easily. Not to mention, it's very user friendly.
This is a demonstration
Because the
of
biggest problems that
Wirecast.
I've heard is that it's very hard to put things on the website, to edit it, and also it's very hard to find things on the website.
Who presently does our website? Can we say that publicly?
I'd rather not.
Okay, do it non-public, remind me.
Well, I mean, I can see any harm in researching it some more.
Yeah.
Give me
So
some
we-
more information.
When you said 9,000, what is the $9,000?
The 9,000 is the setup fee.
Okay, so the initial fee. to
So
do it.
we can do it one or two ways. And I'm a little confused as to how the bidding works, but it's the $9,000 plus there's a 10% discount if we go with the school, the town. And we can either pay it once, which is obviously over the 3,000, or it would be about 2,700 for 3 years, which is under the 3,000. I'm not sure
Per year.
per year for 3
3
years.
years, so you could break it down, the bill down.
Plus the 3,000 maintenance.
Just for 3 years.
It's the 2,400 for maintenance.
And 2,700 for the.
Yeah. Because if you guys want it to go out to bid, and I have no problem with that, but I would like to start that process soon.
Where it qualifies for our level in our policy book, I think we should.
Okay.
Or what the rest of the board think.
Yeah, the website's a mess.
Well, I don't, I get that with you.
So we need
I
to
don't
do
even-
something.
I don't think it would hurt to go out to bid to see if there's something else that you're missing.
Okay.
So I think it would make sense.
You want a motion?
Demonstration of
No.
Wirecast.
I'm gonna do some more. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You all set?
Yes.
Okay, but before we get started, I'll remind everybody, June 19th, 2018, Tuesday, at the new gymnasium. I think we're all invited to attend the 8th grade graduation. We have to let Becky Susie know.
I RSVP'd today.
No, you did, I forgot to do it, I apologize. And also, everybody knows on Friday that we're on stage, so look your best.
I love it.
And
Yes,
a
sir.
couple of
Demonstration
people are going to be handing out diplomas. Congratulations. I tried to get out of it, but Earl would not let me do it. It was his idea that we all come on the stage.
One down, one to go.
Like that, what to go. Okay, anybody else? Just want to remind everybody.
The chair did a very conscientious job on making sure that all that was intact. As he said on those two situations, on the graduation on Friday and the other, the 8th grade graduation on Tuesday, if you know, so I can let Jan, the middle high school principal, know, because she's working on the seating and everything and so forth,
I'll be there.
who will be attending. I can check with Melissa Brown, but who will be coming to graduation for sure?
Friday?
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Friday?
Friday.
And my wife will come also. She can have a seat in the audience. I'll be there.
Yes, okay, so I'll check Melissa, so perfect attendance, right? And then on Tuesday, who is going to be there?
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I would be, but I have a budget committee meeting that night.
Oh, boy, you
Almost perfect attendance.
can't have that good of a time every day, right?
I'd
Okay.
rather be here.
So thank you very much for the participation. Going forth, that was one of the areas that I was going to address, but it's just been addressed. Recently, Mrs. Wyatt and I I sat in and we interviewed 8 students that applied for the Seaman Scholarship. And I have to tell you, both she and I concurred that she's been doing this for a while, and I've been doing it for more years than I would like to count. Not this one, but all kinds of ones. And these 8 students were thoroughly, I know that, the board and the administration and myself and the teachers, there's days when we wonder where the days come from, and we inherit people's concerns that are just very important to us. But it was amazing to see the answers and the result. And these 8 students were just thoroughly on. I mean, you could tell they had aspirations, they had dreams, they had goals, and they each, within the component and the realm that they're going to pursue, they spoke amazingly well, And I really think that, a coach can't compare one team to the other, or you don't want to compare one class to another. But I'll always remember how noteworthy they are, and I think it's important for people to know. And they really constitute almost 25%, and they were the ones that put in for it. And that's a testimonial to what Newt does, and I think that each one of them was just thoroughly amazing in terms of where they are now, where they're going, and just their whole perseverance, their desire to excel, the way that they communicated, and the unique gifts that each of them brought. Each of them were going into a different direction in the pathway of life, but they had it so spelled out that it was just really, and I think people should be aware of it, that the result of the education and the parents and the community that are produced and that they are a testimonial to the school and the town. So I was very proud, as was she, to hear them, and some of them even plan to come back if they can when they complete their work. So I thought you folks would like to hear about that. The next thing is, it's interesting, what Lou must be looking down with a smile, because I remember when I first came, one of the first times in the whole board, in fact, at the time, Doug, Paul, and then Peg came on, and so forth. One of the things that the board was concerned with was grants and the transparency of grants and how grant funds were used. And Commissioner Edelblut, in this case, I think hit a home run, because from now on, unless it is changed, the school board chair has to sign off as far as grants are concerned, and they're shared with the whole board. In the past, well, there had been some concerns about some of the functions of the grants and so forth. So, in being transparent, because there was school board concern, there was community concern, we had the committee. And Barb Hughes came to see me today. Sadly, or good for her, she's leaving soon, and on behalf of myself and the board, I would like to thank her for all the great work she did. I mean, she had the courage of her convictions, and she too was one that very eloquently and in a positive way, she just didn't write Facebook posts and all this stuff. I don't mean to cut in a bad way. She actually came in, she presented her thoughts, presented her concerns, and then worked at a solution of what we were dealing with. And she was pleased that I said to her today when she came in and, and again indicated that she was going to leave. I said, at least some of your work is not for naught. And in actuality, we are like an example to other schools about the transparency. I should note that I'm sure you're hearing it within the school board realm and everything. New Hampshire school administrators are looking at Edelblut, Commissioner Edelblut, to allow the superintendents again to sign off on them without the board, in that it would be the prerogative of the board to allow the superintendent to sign off without them being involved. So my recommendation, unlike, which is probably not shared by many of my colleagues, is that the board should have a say. I think that history, again, shows us that it is important, and that, you know, and I hope that down the line that whatever person is here, whether they want you to not do that, I would never give that up. You know, I would never give that up in terms of signing it as well, because I just think it's really important.
I guess I have two questions, because I read all of that email from, okay. So what do you mean by signing off when the grant first comes in, when grant monies are expended?
Nate can chime in. We had that discussion
And then
a few times.
My
so.
second question for you was, if that's the case, are we going to dissolve the grant committee?
No.
Okay, all right.
Because the grants committee actually is part of what we do, and it's a part of that. We had the boilerplate for transparency, and I don't want to call it checks and balances. I'm not abusing anything, but the point being, it allows, and that's what the board is. The board is a lens to the town and the townsfolks, and the grant committee is a function of the board. But Peg asked a good question. Now that the board can sign off, is there a need for it? Yeah, because like Bob back there is on it, and he has given some good input and some and asked very good things. And I think that it's still important for, like, in the old-fashioned way, the stakeholders, some community members, some staff, the administration, the school board. It's a lot of money, and I think that you found, in terms of the writing of it and the dedication to it, Jen does a very good job with it, and now we have the administrative site oversight from the appropriate people in the board to legitimize what she's doing. But one of the things the grant committee actually found, and Peg and Doug can bear this out, is that it's very well, she does a great job with it, and assures us that we're getting the funds we need. Right, Nate? And
Right.
yeah.
Right.
No, in fact, in very short terms, we just heard that there was $300,000 that was competitive, a Title I relocation grant for social learning, and she put in for it, and we just found out the last couple of days that we were awarded $23,000. So I mean, I send them to her, and I send you the emails at all different times of the night and day, and almost immediately she acts on them, and I think that leads me to the last point, is that I think that in terms of these other grants that you received, I want to commend Jan. Jan has done an amazing job with Bob and with myself and the rest of the administration, and Nate. Doug Shute has sat in and reeled them off. And whether we do it or not, just like you do with students or staff, you put people in positions to succeed, and then they make the choices on what they want to do and how much we can afford. But the very fact that hopefully in the next week we will be put in a position to decide whether we wanted 80% of the $255,000 is really all that we could ask for. And I don't know if you saw it, but interestingly enough, New Hampshire, in terms of the funds that are given to poorer schools and wealthier schools, is 46th. So there's the Claremont case going on now that you've seen in some of the stuff I've sent you, equity of school funding. So in terms of aid that the poor districts receive, New Hampshire's 46, which is very low. So the fact that the staff has worked so hard on these grants gives us some opportunity, gives us a chance to do things that we wouldn't be able to do had we not worked on that. And we have a bare bones budget. And I think that there was great coordination. I think that Melissa, in terms of the special ed, in terms of the whole staff, in terms of Nate and I scrutinizing the different POs, I think that you can only have a bare bones budget if people are working together to ensure that spending is really watched. So between the combination of grant funding and continuing to find grant funding and really scrutinizing it, we're hanging in. You know, we have the funds that we have, and Nate is doing the background work in terms of the insurance and so forth, so that as the months go by, we'll be able to ascertain what that is, you know, the balance is. Because basically the rule of thumb is if you could be within 2% of what you are, whether you're, well, you're not 2% less than what you have for funds, but if you're 2% over, and whatever you are under 2%, you're still cutting it near. So even at 200,000, we're still under the 2%, and that's a little risky. You know, it's, I mean, when we were at 40, I mean, to be at 200,000 sounds pretty good, but it really isn't that good. I mean, you know, it's better, right. But yeah. But that's it, folks.
Thank you.
The only thing I want to tell the board is I walked into the school today because I had to sign diplomas, and I noticed that we have 2 brand-new MakerBot 3D printers.
Is that what was in those boxes? I saw them too.
Yeah, that are going to go into the Ben's office.
Awesome.
I mean, to be used. So that's
Good.
that, and that's the top of the line.
Yes.
MakerBot.
Good.
Want the board to know that we are making strides toward technology. Going to B, which is page 47, and is your Back Bay Networks contract. Now, I think the total on that is $68,800. Is that right? On page 52.
Yeah, it's the same as last year.
Okay.
Yep.
The only difference is the dates.
Right here.
Everything else is the same.
Okay.
I think they need to underline that and bold it.
Yeah, I will.
see it.
The price
You gonna make one?
does.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you can
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept.
spend the
To
higher
spend the 68,000 for Back Bay to
800?
maintain our network system.
800 for Back Day.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any more discussion? Paul?
Aye.
Aye.
Demonstration
Aye.
of
Aye.
wirecast.
Yep, we did it. Okay. Yeah. No, I just got a question. Something was handed to me. Is this from the Budget Committee?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go over that when we go to.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry.
board
I didn't know what it was.
reports.
Okay, going on to 6, policies first reading. 55, starting at 55. Drug-free workplace, drug-free schools, A, D, and B. This will be the first reading.
Of Wirecast.
Does anybody?
I just had a change on the top. So take out. Hold on. Just combining those sentences, so we don't have to have 2 sentences pretty much saying the same thing. So just combine the. So after federal grant recipient
Yeah.
and in accordance with New Hampshire drug and free school zone law.
You want to eliminate that?
So get rid of the
So
school
get out-
district will provide a drug-free school
Yeah.
zone.
Okay.
And just add and take out the and before that, before federal.
So you,
Gotcha.
oh, you're on the policy committee anyway, aren't
Yeah.
you? Okay, all right. Sorry. Any other?
No.
You want to go to the next one and do it as a group?
Yeah.
Okay, next one, tobacco products, ban use and possession in and on school facilities and ground, it's ADC.
Yeah, I have something on that.
Go ahead.
The third, it says tobacco products means, if you go, it says products containing tobacco in any other form, e-cigs, vaping devices. That doesn't, something's not written right. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a semicolon or something like, in any other form, semicolon, e-cigs, or it's like example, or,
I.E maybe?
yeah.
Oh, I think the second,
E.g.,
and
IE.
tobacco. Maybe and products containing tobacco such as,
Well, it says and tobacco in any other form, e-cigs, vaping
So
devices.
put and here.
Yeah,
and then
and
take out
e-cigs
this.
or vape, whatever.
products
It's gonna
and
fix the
products
sentence.
containing, yeah.
Fix the
And then a
sentence.
semicolon or a,
No,
just take
and
out this and.
products containing tobacco in, yeah, get rid of the and, the second tobacco. And products containing tobacco in any other form.
Okay.
And then maybe
Got it.
just add such as e-cigarettes.
Yeah, just put an IE after it or something. It just, it's, yeah, in any other form, it doesn't, okay, you're missing one sentence somewhere. I mean, one word. Thank you.
All set? Anybody else on that one? DFA, investment. Anybody have any questions on that one?
Of Wirecast.
Nope.
Okay, I'll need a motion to accept all three
Well,
with changes.
Just, oh,
Make a
Go ahead.
motion to accept all three with changes noted
For second reading.
for second reading.
yes. Second,
Oh, you want it? Peg, yeah, okay, I would take
Unless you're
that.
seconding your motion.
Second and second reading?
I wrote it down. Paul?
Aye.
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 So who's going to forward it? You
I will
will?
forward
Thank you very
them
much.
together.
Keep track of my stuff here.
Demonstration
So we're on to
of
old
Wirecast.
business? Do we have anything under old business?
Did you go over the board dates when we're going to meet?
We'll do that now.
This,
Okay, the question is, does the board want to meet
Oh,
June 27th? What's the other one? July 25th? And
August 27th.
August, there you go, 22nd.
Is a demonstration
Now,
of Wirecast.
We will not be dealing with the teacher's contract over the summer. They want to meet September 5th. But I want the board to be, to back of their minds, what they would want to do for negotiations, because we're going to have to get that settled. So does the board want to meet those three dates or not?
so we will continue, we will meet the 11th, the 8th, correct? Is that what you're saying? Oh, which ones, we'll meet once a month or not?
Once a
Yeah,
month.
I would say that
Yeah, I would
the
eliminate the three.
July, the middle of July and the middle of...
So
middle
July
of
11 and
July.
August 8, no,
Of
right? Is that what you said?
Wirecast.
So it would be July 18th and August 15th, I believe.
oh, so we're doing it in the middle?
Yeah, I would be...
The only issue with that is I should have, so you're saying do the third Wednesday?
No,
No.
to July 18th.
Which is the third Wednesday instead of the
Right,
second Wednesday.
so,
Yeah.
that's usually,
No, it would be July
rec commission.
25th. You can't do it on the 18th.
Yeah, July 25th.
You want to eliminate.
This is a demonstration
I will
of
not be around,
Wirecast.
just to let people know.
Or which
For
one?
what?
25th?
25th of July.
That's fine.
But-
I will be gone also,
So we can
When?
eliminate that
the
one if you want.
25th.
There we go, it's eliminated.
And I'll be gone August 8th also.
Yeah,
August 8th, let me see.
That's the first. So if you, it sounded like you guys were concerned not having policy meetings, so if we did one every other, then we would have one facility, one policy, if you wanted to do that.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we would probably need one facility just to make sure that all our things were engaging for July, for July 1 are actually going through. I'd just like reassurance on that, but other than that,
So August, you will not be here on the 8th, but
I
you
won't
will
be
be on the
here.
22nd.
Um,
Paul?
I'll be here on
I
the
would-
22nd.
I would be back, yes. On the
So what probably we should do, we probably should keep the 22nd because we're going to have to be August, September.
It's right
Yeah,
before school.
yeah.
That,
right
I wouldn't
before school
recommend
starts.
keeping the 22nd. That's
You
right
get
before
rid of the
school
8th?
starts.
Get
Get rid of the 8th.
Yeah.
So get
I
rid of the
agree.
25th and the 8th.
Yep.
And then
Okay.
what about June?
Demonstration of
Do we have any
weapons.
business we have to do at the end of the year?
Well, we're gonna have one July 11th, right?
Mm.
My only concern is there's no, do you have contracts for summer school?
We got them
For tonight?
tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah, we got them
We got a
tonight.
We
pile.
need to sign those.
We got a pile.
That'd
That'd be my only
We
concern if we
worked
didn't have a
them
meeting.
through. Melissa
Okay.
spent untold hours, and Nate, and I.
And Nate.
So we
Scratch
really,
July 11th.
it was
I mean,
like,
June.
27th.
Yep, no 27th.
If that's what you want to do.
We'll have it July 11th, August 22nd. Those are the two
Well,
we'll
August-
have. The two we will have.
Yes. Okay.
July
We all
11th,
clear on
August
that?
22nd.
Okay, Paul, you make the motion, what you want.
Okay, so we will
Eliminate,
eliminate June 27th,
okay,
eliminate July 25th,
yeah,
eliminate August 8th.
okay.
Second.
Do I have any discussion? Okay, I'll start with Peg this time.
Aye.
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 Okay, that's what we've done then. So, better post that somewhere. I'll have to come in and notify them here.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll need to do another manifest before the end of the year.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just throwing it out there that I will at some point request
Signature.
at least 3 signatures.
To
Yeah.
come to the office?
To come to the office, yeah.
Correct. That's good.
We can do that.
Thank you.
Okay, I told you that.
Okay.
We got rid of that, so we're doing good. We're doing good. Okay, committee board member reports?
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna go over
You make a
over
motion.
facilities real quick. Went over some initial conversation about a new E911 phone system, as well as the fire alarm systems that we eventually should replace. We're gonna get more information on both to present, so we just got an initial, but we did get an email from GAFTech to put new wires to the sensors in the remote alarm box for the oil tank system. Of $22,553.29. That was proposed to us to replace install the new remote alarm box, pull new cable to the sump sensors and the alarm sensor. So that will take care of that. The only thing that's excluded is if they somehow can't pull the wires out of the conduit underground, we'd probably have to dig for them. So that's the only junky part.
Did
But
they give an estimate how much that would be?
that is not included in them, so that would be an extra charge.
So would,
So if all went well, it's $25,53.29.
so what if the bill come in over $3,000?
Well,
Would
we're gonna-
we,
Their portion's gonna be this, the excavation, we'd have to
be
call
different.
somebody else for a
Yeah.
different company.
gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to have Doug solicit a motion to do that, I guess.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Well, I'm on
I
the committee,
second.
I'm gonna first that.
I'll second that.
Done.
Do I have any discussion?
Peg. Aye. Aye.
All right.
It's like, oh my.
Okay, it's spent.
And that's for July 1st, right?
That is gonna be put on for July 1st, yep. We're gonna initiate it now, so when July 1st comes around, it's ready to go.
So Peg, you all set, Jim?
I am all set.
Okay.
That was it for this week.
Okay, I handed out
Well, it didn't
the,
go anywhere but to me.
You got it, you gotta go that way.
Put it
Oh,
that way.
I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no.
It's
It
just you
came
two.
from this
I'll
way,
take it,
but
I just need one.
Well,
You
Earl,
need one, Earl? Here.
All right.
There we go.
does Bob want one?
These are the extras.
Bob's on the committee anyway. So
Bob, would you like a
Sorry.
Cobra
budget
schedule.
schedule?
that one up there.
Okay, I just want to say that Bob and Sean, after meeting with us and the town, put together a great schedule. Our first, I don't know, thing that we have to do is the 25th of October, that hopefully our budget is done and ready to send to the budget committee. And then November 1st would be our first presentation. And the 8th is just saying, yeah, we gotta do it by then or else.
Okay.
I do have a question though.
Yes.
I noticed you got the 10th and the 24th. Is that our meetings to do the budget of October?
No, it's
School
saying
board-
our.
school- that's our
No,
School board
those are our school,
Okay,
yeah,
so we better work our budget ahead before the
right,
25th.
right.
Yes.
Way before the 25th, so.
Okay, all right, so.
You know, what they had done was they put all of the town meetings on here so that we could just kind of say, oh, okay, well, we're not gonna be able to
Do it that day.
do it on Monday the 15th because the Board of Selectmen they're doing presentations. So, I mean, this is just absolutely awesome. And I know, and Bob, I don't know if you can say anything from back there, but
Bob, if you will.
last year was an absolute disaster. Bob spent the time putting together a schedule and it didn't work. We were good, but
So the only thing I foresee in this though is pretty much we won't even be back to school, we're going to be expecting our administration to be putting budgets together. Because we need to be having our meetings in
the end of
August,
September.
September.
The end of September.
Yeah, we went
Well,
over
we usually have a
that.
couple of them,
The
though.
word's already out.
So, okay, so there you
Yeah,
go.
we discussed it with the break at our administration meeting right off the bat
Yep.
and said we gotta come
September's a
up.
hard month, though, because you got open house, and you got all that other stuff going on.
But we have a pretty good handle of what we were up to.
We met how many times last year before we presented? Twice? 3 times?
It was 3, wasn't it?
3.
Ourselves, and it was
Right.
like either the Tuesday or the Thursday after.
Yep.
So we just add that into our September schedule. We'll get the school year rolling like we always do, and then right after that, we'll start our budgeting.
Yeah,
All set?
yeah.
So, anyway,
What's that?
this goes all the way through February, so
Okay.
just take a good look at it.
Do I have any other?
Yeah, I just have a couple of other things, and I don't know if Earl got my email, but I went to the Economic Development Committee meeting last night, and Bob Bordeaux from Eastern Boats, I guess, had made a proposal to the school 5 years ago about the possibility of having some kids actually go to place of business and build a boat. And then his big thing was donating the boat to the school to raffle off for money. And it was not met with positiveness. So I emailed Jan and Earl today because it bothered me being there as a school board member that somebody was actually saying no to something as great as this is for the kids.
Who said no?
In the past.
In the past.
Boards?
No,
Oh,
the
just public?
Administration.
Oh,
Administration,
administration.
yes.
I don't remember, I was dealing with that question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, no, it was a while ago. The other thing is, I'm obviously teaching at the Rochester Middle School, and there was a great career day today. And the ELO teacher at Spalding High School came in with just opportunities for the Spalding kids if they enroll in the ELO program. One of the students that was there presenting today, I mean, I knew from 6th grade, and he spent almost an entire year off from school. He's really into sound production, and he had an internship, traveled all over the country, and set up sound systems for all of these different presentations. He got paid, he had a great time, and he got all sorts of credit for that whole year so that he did not lose anything educationally. So anyway, I just thought I would like to start with Earl and with Jan, and just,
Yeah, she responded.
yes, for tomorrow.
And I'm all set.
Okay.
Peg,
Um,
would you take over?
Yes, certainly.
Madam Chair?
Madam Vice
Doug
Chair.
and I both need a recess at
Where's
times.
my, my gavel?
Now it's her
Resist.
governance, right?
There we go. Wah, wah. Anyway, I mean, there were just so many opportunities, and I think one of the things that really bothered me last night was when this whole Eastern Boats proposal was turned down, and somebody who was at the meeting said, "Oh well, you know, it's just Newton, blah blah." And I thought, I am so tired of negative stuff out in the community, and so I just said, "Bob, I'm on the school board. I am so sorry that this happened. Please, please contact me and
We'll get rolling.
we will get rolling with this because we need to do something with some of our kids who are not going on to college and provide them with opportunities for when they get out of high school. So,
And I think that it's important that we, as we reconnect with some of these situations, that people remember and have a historical record of
Yeah.
never allowing it to go in the other direction.
right.
That was good. And we're all set for tomorrow.
Okay,
Jan-
good.
Jan got back to you.
Excellent.
She sounded excited in her
Demonstration of
And she
Wirecast.
sounded excited when she replied, so.
yeah.
All right, so we now have next year's New York City Great Adventure that we need.
They just got back, and now they're planning the
I
game.
know, well, they have to plan
Oh,
it in
active.
advance.
They're on the wall.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we have to
You're just approving them.
make a motion to approve it for next year.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve it for next year. Because I'm going on the trip, so.
Oh, I'm
Again.
not gonna make a motion. I'll second.
Okay, any questions?
Did we didn't get a report, Madam Chairman, we didn't get a report from this last visit, did we?
No, we did not.
Everything, I can give you a report. If you want me to.
Oh, yes, please do.
So everything went,
Please do.
everything went great. We had no issues. We got to see everything we were supposed to see.
Everybody had a
I
blast.
think the kids really enjoyed
They had a
themselves. The
blast.
weather was a little hot,
Wirecast.
especially the day we went to the ship. So on the top of the Intrepid, it was a little
Did you go?
steamy up there.
You did
Yeah,
go.
I did
Oh.
go. The kids were very well behaved. We got many compliments on their behavior. It was a great time. She is very well organized. And
She is. My
She
big
stays
bird
up.
girl
She makes sure the kids are all squared away before she goes to bed and all that
Yeah,
stuff. so.
she really does
Mhm.
a tremendous job.
And she did awesome fundraising. There was a couple kids that did have spending money. She got people within the community donated spending money and
Her
donated clothes. It's great.
yeah, her
And
whole
60
heart
Hours of
and
Hunger
soul.
donated snacks to a couple other kids.
All right, so we have a motion and a second on the
I have a
floor.
question,
You have a
Madam
question
Chairman.
also.
This is, I just come back. This is for 2019.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry. Next year's.
Her governance, press on.
You can call a bit, call a,
All right, I'll call for a vote. Paul?
Aye.
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 I should have started with whom?
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Oh, sorry, Doug. Aye.
There you go.
He told me I should have started with you for once.
Okay, she messed that up. You take charge again.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh my, I
Anything
love
else?
this
Nope.
group.
Public comments?
Wow.
You could have spoken any time you wanted to, Larry. You
Oh,
would.
no, I've been off playing boy backhoe operator.
We should say, Larry, we have Biscuit.
Of
That,
Wirecast.
A few of us have inquired about you.
what there, I had to go out to the car and just get some other papers I had. What Earl said just struck me in terms of the disparity in monies that go to the poorer school districts in New Hampshire. And it's, anyway, several things. One, it's a pleasure to have Sean as chair of the budget committee. And his particular perceptions and process driving the budget process. And I did not have personality to basically flip the town off for the problems that it was having. I appreciate the fact that all of you are going to be held closer to the fire than I was able to do. And that's just a compliment to him. Two, Governor Sununu, Seacoast Republican Women's Conference this spring, quote, "We have more money than we know what to do with. We're still the seventh richest state, wealthy state in the nation. Maine is providing at its schools breakfast and lunch." The article didn't mention cost. I suspect that there is none. Grants.
This is a
There,
demonstration
you
of wire
define grants, you define, track, and implement them, and you vote to accept. And the problem Earl did not speak to is local culture. For example, the HPV vaccine for cervical cancer, it's a virus. Communities have differing opinions based on their associations as to whether or not it is a fair thing to protect young women from cancer.
demonstration of
If
wire.
it is an issue like that that comes to professional educators' opinion, you do not need the school board sinking the boat. Neither do you need an administration squirreling money away from the voters on private projects without merit to the students. Those are the things that came to mind. The other one is slightly different, and my earlier note said, this meeting is an excellent example of the multiple tasks, evaluations, the multiple interests, and the careful assessment and good counsel which the superintendent has offered. This was on the, quote, simple issues of the fire alarm system and the phone system and the web. And so you may not know, but there is actually a New Hampshire Association for the support of school administrative personnel services. And the local chapter has put together a small token of appreciation for the work that you have done for the year, which naturally is demanded that it be opened at the moment.
Whoa. I guess, thank you.
Open it right up.
You don't want
Open it right up.
Thank you so
Open it
much.
up.
Open it up.
We want to see what you got.
Keep it upright.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm going to get you to read the inscription.
That puts a picture of 5 of us.
Is that what it is? All smiling, right?
Oh my gosh. This is phenomenal.
Back scratcher.
The New Hampshire Association of School Administrators Professional Support Part of Service Award for Earl Sussman for Reciprocity in Community Relationships, Milton Chapter. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow.
It's through the teamwork of all the folks here that we all share this. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
may want to look up the definition of parlous. It is an old English word taken from the French. The primary meaning is perilous.
Oh, thank you.
The back scratcher has its own history. Put on your glasses and read the back scratcher.
I have. I'm just glad it's a back scratch.
In all seriousness, read the label on the back scratcher. Get someone with good close vision and have them read it for you.
It's the one that can see.
Can it be read in public?
On the back?
This little label. Souvenir of Spring Valley, New York.
Oh my gosh.
Imported to New Hampshire.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It has been in my vast files from the old 5 and 10.
The old 5 and 10 on Main Street in Spring Valley, New York.
There we go.
Jeez, I love
I
it.
can think of nothing better for reciprocity and community relationships.
Things go around in full circle, I guess.
Wow.
Is there anything else, Larry? You all set?
No, thank you.
Anybody else?
It's a pleasure to see your work.
Okay. All right. Need a motion to go into non-public.
Motion to go into non-public.
I second.
Okay, you only need one.
What are you going to take?
Give it to Laura.
Yeah, I'll write Laura down there. That'll be under RSA 91A-32A, B, and C.
Thank you.
Excited to get